What's up, guys? Spider here. We have the full guide for the Skullbreaker, the Ghosts and Skulls machine, all 6 skulls, all right? Skull number 1 can be either found in this location here. You're looking for this electrical box, okay? So this electrical box may not actually be in this position. There are 3 different locations, but it looks like those ones are always there. That one may not necessarily always be there. So you're gonna throw an explosive at it, and we're gonna shoot the ghost. Now I'll show you the other 2 locations that where the box could spawn. So depending on what game you're in, it might be in any one of these 3 locations. The second one is in the 666 room up on that pillar. Okay. The third one is going to be in the cargo room. Now I'm pretty excited to bring this to you guys because it's going to allow you guys to get perma-perks before going into the boss fight if you haven't already done so. So there's location number 3 for skull number 1. So skull number 2 is basically the same step. Like, you got to do these 2 steps to get the entangler. Skull number 2 is going to be in this cargo room. We're going to have these X's. So these X's don't show up until you get the first skull. We got an X on top of that platform. We got an X back here, right where that zombie is, basically, right there. We have a third X. So these X's, I believe, all 4 of them appear whether you're playing single player or 4 player, and you can do, if you're single player, I think you can do them on, any one of them. There's the third X. There's actually a fourth X I don't show in this video. I'll show you once we actually get on the platform. Basically, all players on the game have to get on an X and then defend. And you're going to see the skull is going to start rising from the center of the cargo area, and basically it's just a timed event, essentially. So the 4th X is up on that platform, right above that zombie, basically, like up top. The 4th X is up there, just in case you didn't know where it was. I'm sure if you've played 4 players, you guys have found it by now. But basically, when you first come into the room, it's sort of in that middle of that upper platform. So that 4th player would be looking down at everybody. So what you're going to do, you're just going to defend, right? If you get knocked off or walk off of your little circle, so you have this circle that you have to stand in, then you fail, basically, and have to go into the next game. Or not next game, the next round. You have to wait until the next round and then try it again. And once you get it, I'm not sure exactly how long it is, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. But as soon as the skull goes up to the top, it'll end, and then the green skull will appear at a couple of different locations. In this particular case, so there's one location. There's another location up top, up that platform. There's another location at the back of the other platform by the portal. And then the last location is where I was standing, basically behind me. You just jump off. Or where Hyper was standing, he could jump off and grab it. You just kind of got to look for it and jump and grab it, because it will disappear. And then if it does and you don't get it in time, you got to wait until the next round. So there's the entangler, and there's skull number 2. Now, skull number 3, I've been trying to work this out. I haven't worked it out quite yet, but there are a bunch of different locations for these symbols. So this is in the theater. That's sort of in behind the ticket booth. Now, one location I'm not going to show you in the video here, but there's a 6th location that we found earlier, and it's out by Racing Stripes. Racing Stripes is outside the theater. So there's spot number 2 here in the cargo room. You're going to have these symbols. These symbols are the same ones that were used in Shell and Shuffle, and you can actually convert them to letters. So that other location is by Racing Stripes. There's only one zombie window out there. Here's location number 3. That zombie window, you look in it. There's also one of the plushies in there. It's green and has a green light. This is position number 4 here in Spawn. And then we have a 5th one in the med bay. So that one by Racing Stripes is just inside that window. There's only one window on that outside area. So if you look in there, we're going to call that position number 6. And then this guy is right under the cryptid in the med bay. Now, what I've been trying to figure out, and I don't have enough data, we want to run it a bunch of times to try and figure this out. I mean, basically, you can randomize it. I mean, just aim down sights at one of the symbols, and eventually you'll get it, just by luck. And that's how I think everybody's been doing it. But we need more data, and I haven't been able to do that yet. I will try and update you guys once we do that, because there's got to be some sort of rhyme or reason as to, what letter needs to be ADS'd at in order to activate and get that 3rd skull. But basically, just trial and error, aim at the symbols, and eventually you'll get that 3rd skull, and then we'll move on to the 4th. All right, guys, for skull number 4, I messed up in the last video, all right? just go to spawn. I'm not going to show this first part because I don't have it. I can't find the video I recorded it of it, and I can't get in game right now. But anyways, right from spawn, up on the platform in the middle where you drop down coming from the 666 room, drop down, there's going to be an X on the floor. When you stand on the X, you're going to see a skull. The skull is either going to be glowing red or glowing green. Whatever color it's glowing, that means you have to run along this path it shows you, and run, you know, if it was a green skull, you gotta run across the green X's. If it was a red skull, then you want to run across the red birds, I guess it looks like. So go along the path. You don't have to sprint. Just make sure you don't hit the red ones. Make sure you hit the green ones because it gives you more time to do this, and then you get the skull in the 666 bay. So I do apologize on that previous video for not including skull number 4, but that is number 4 right there. Like I said, drop down from 666 on the top of that platform, that catwalk in the spawn area. You have a red X similar to number 2, to skull number 2. Stand on the red X, it'll show you a skull. It'll be either glowing red or green. Walk into it and follow the colors while avoiding the other color. All right? All right, skull number 5. Once you get skull number 4, you're going to have a chess piece that appears on this chessboard in the mess hall. And it's a queen. Basically, what you got to solve is the 8 queens puzzle. We're going to show you all the locations that we know about where one of these chess pieces spawn, all right? So that first one being in the mess hall right on that table. I'm going to also link you to the Wikipedia for this 8 queens puzzle. Now, there are numerous solutions. There isn't just one solution for this. It's basically placing 8 queens on the table. So here we go. There's number 2 right beside the couch. Placing 8 queens on the chessboard such that no queen is in danger of being taken out by any other queen, right? So you can't have 2 queens in the same horizontal, vertical, or diagonal line. And it's pretty tricky. And there are, like I said, there are multiple solutions. I'm going to link you to the Wikipedia. The image that it shows in Wikipedia is only one of many solutions. It happened to be our solution, and I'll show you how we set it up after we place all the queens on the table. So there's our little camping spot in spawn, is location number 3. So we're going to place that in. And it's always the queen that is placed on the table. You can't move that last queen. You can move any of these other ones, but that first queen, you cannot move it. So that one defines the pattern that you have to employ in order to solve this problem. All right. So we're gonna go to the next one. Now there are a couple of locations we don't have queens in now, and there are also, I believe, at least one location. So I think we're down to only one location that we're not aware of yet. So here's another one inside the med bay on the scale. So we're gonna grab that guy. There's actually the one position I'm not gonna show in that video is under that table where the cryptid is lying. All right. So we didn't actually record that position, but it's near the corner underneath the cryptid in that table. Okay, so we're gonna position the next one up here. Once we finish this, I'll show you the image that I used. I actually cropped the image directly from Wikipedia, and I brought it into Vegas, and I reversed it. So it looked more like our board, and I could place them easier just referencing that image. So we have another one out here just by this exit outside. All of them are found. You know, aside from the one spot we didn't find, we know for sure there are 12. At least 12, anyway. So we're going to place this guy right there. Next up is in the cargo room. We're going to drop down here and just basically spin right around. And on the floor is number... I guess this is number 6 that we've picked up. But number 7, as it were, placed on the chessboard. Seeing as there was already one there, right? All right, so we're going to place this guy right there. And then we've got one more to place. Okay, so the last one is going to be in the 666 room. It's at this pillar across from the jump down to Jug. So there it is. So before we go back to the chessboard, and I just want to thank Josh on our Discord for giving us his locations. He had a couple locations we didn't have. There's one location there that it could also spawn in. There's another location right there. So 2 locations, and I think there's one final one. And I'm just going to mention again, the one that I don't show is underneath the table where the cryptid is lying, all right, in the corner, one of those corners. I think it's the first corner that we we see as we enter the room from where we did. The last one location that we know about, but we don't have a chess piece, is right here. There's the stairs going up to spawn. And like I said, there is a 12th location guaranteed, at least one more location that we're not aware of, all right? So, you know, if you go into a game and you can't find it, I'll try and update it maybe in the video comments. Somebody can update it. If we do find it, I'll try and pin it, just so you know. And once we place it in the appropriate spot, which is right there, we'll get the 5th skull. Woo! Yeah, fireworks, or confetti, I'm sorry. So this image is the one that we used in order to place it. And if you see what was it? No, it was A5. A5 was the location where the queen was, you know, the one that's that spawns in that you can't move. That's where that one was. So it was at basically at that. So what I did, just to make it a little bit easier to reference, I reversed the image. So now you look at A5. I know the letters and numbers are all opposite now, or backwards, but you look at A5, that's where the queen was when we started. And then I just placed the other 7 according to the other locations in the image. And that's it. That's it. So that's number 5. So now, do you guys remember day number 1 when this DLC came out and we found these little bits of paper that had arrows on them? Well, I'm pretty sure Infinity Ward hotfixed it because that wasn't supposed to happen. Those, you know, what we thought may be codes for the playable characters for your D-pad, like up, left, right, down. We thought maybe, so that's location number 2. So number 1 is in the med bay. Number 2 is right in there in the mess hall. We thought those would be for the playable character, right? And they would spawn in after we completed the Easter egg or we completed the super Easter egg. But no, they're actually part of skull number 6. Interesting. So I think it was glitched that day 1, and they must have hotfixed it or patched it or something to make them go away, because they were kind of not there afterwards, and we're like, what the hell's going on? Where'd those papers go? I know we saw those papers, and they were just gone, but now they've reappeared. So there are 3 ripped pages, or pieces of paper, and we're going to go into the bathroom here. Sorry, I'm having a little issue. Right? So there's the 3rd one. There's the 3rd piece of paper. So you got to piece them together, right? You got to piece them together, and you have a code that you have to enter on your D-pad, and it consists of 7, 8, 9, no, 3, 6, 7, 8 arrows, 8 directions. So what I did was take a screenshot of each of them, and I blew them up a little bit, and you just piece them together. So in our case, we have down, left, up, left, down, up, down. Okay, when we piece them all together. So now all you do is walk up to the Skullbreaker machine and enter that code. So like I said, when I took them and I sort of pieced the papers together, it was down, left, up, left, down, up, down. The only problem is it could be the opposite orientation. So if that didn't work, and I tried it a couple times, turn your piece of paper that you've written the arrows down, turn it upside down, and then it becomes up, right, down, right, up. So when I did that, we actually got the 6th skull, and that's it. And it's going to be different every game, okay, guys? Because I went back in our original video, and the arrows were different. So in your game, you're going to have to look and inspect those 3 pieces of paper, and you're going to have to piece them together for every single game. It's not going to be the same D-pad arrow combination. And that's skull number 6, guys. So that's awesome. You know, we really wanted to do this for you guys that have not yet completed the Easter egg since the Purify card has been fixed. And you may not have access to Skull Hacker cards, right? So now you can actually go in and open up the Skullbreaker machine, go in, get your perma-perks, and then go into the boss battle in the Beast from Beyond. So hope it helps you guys. Yeah, Ghosts and Skulls on the final map for Infinite Warfare Zombies solved. We'll see you next time, guys. Spider out. Wait, guys. I almost forgot the trophy. So we went in, we played it, and there's the trophy, Cracking Skulls. Sorry, I had to throw that in at the end of the video. I forgot. Anyways, Spider out, finally.